Chuck E. Chan.
Here comes Chuck E. Chan.
Martial arts expert of reptile land.
I wasn't going to talk about the Ethan and Hasan drama anymore. Ever since about a week ago, they did a debate against each other, and Hasan got completely dog-walked by Ethan Klein, and it just was so pathetic and desperate and ridiculous that there really was nothing to talk about. They pretty much covered it all, and Hasan got completely decimated as he refused to take any accountability, any responsibility for what his orbiters have done. Now, there's a lot of people on your screen right now. So, the obese woman here with the tier list, that's Frogan. And then this other woman is Denims. Now, they exist in the orbit of Hasan. They are like Hasan's underlings. They have no context to online entertainment other than they're just like a part of his community. I don't know of anyone who even watches them, but they're certainly more popular than me. But that's just kind of how it goes. You suck up to a popular streamer like Hasan, you're probably going to get some views. But they're literally friends and collaborators with Hasan. They were in iDubbbz's Content Cop, which really kind of kicked this off. Took the drama to another level. That's why a lot of people are talking about it, and why it's just snowballing out of control is that iDubbbz decided to make a really crappy video, just really didn't make a lot of points, was really pathetic, where he tried to act like he has no association with like Denims and Frogan, who did two very horrific things. Specifically Denims. Now, they both did an anti-Semitic tier list, which was just crazy, which was pretty bad, but not like the worst thing ever. Like, that's horribly messed up. But I think people get lost in the sauce on that one, because that is way less significant to the other thing that Denims did. She got her viewers to call CPS falsely on Ethan and Hila just because they disagree with Ethan on the Israel-Palestine conflict. Ethan and Hila are Israeli. They're Jewish. Like, they've lived in Israel, so they're probably going to be on the side of Israel, right? It just seems so overboard that they just hate the guy and have gone on this crazy harassment and smear campaign against him for supporting Israel as someone who's Israeli. And he doesn't like wholeheartedly support Israel. He agrees that at certain times Israel has been in the wrong. It's just that he refuses to have the stance that they have, where everything any Palestinian or any Muslim ever does is perfect and great and phenomenal, and anything any Jewish person or Israeli person ever does is wrong and terrible and awful. So just from having a logical, nuanced perspective based off like actually being Israeli and actually knowing Israeli people and actually understanding the conflict, they just hate Ethan Klein and have gone on this insane harassment campaign that included lying to CPS and CPS showing up at his house, which a lot of people are upset with that because of the trauma that it caused to Ethan's children, which understandably so. That certainly is an aspect that is important. But I think what the focus really should be on is how that actually harms other children, because anyone who knows anybody with kids or knows anything about CPS at all understands that they are underfunded. They don't have the times and resources that they need to protect all the children that they would like to, right? Like, they have their own limitations, and one is there's just not nearly enough of them. So when you waste their time and resources investigating something that's completely false, that's based off of no actual information, because you hate Ethan Klein because he's Jewish, you're kind of in the wrong, Denims. You're kind of a piece of crap and a moron, Denims. and everyone you associate with for not calling you out for how wrong you were and how horrific this was are equally wrong, especially when they're defending you in that horrible act that you did, right? Because think about it. Think about the kids that CPS could actually be investigating, or the investigations that are actively underway that they have to now spend less time on because they're wasting their time visiting Ethan Klein's house for no reason. And it's not just, oh, they just willy-nilly go to Ethan Klein's house and that's it. It's not like just the time that they were there at this guy's house that was wasted. They have to write all kinds of reports, make phone calls, look into all kinds of other things. So this is like potentially days worth of work, of man hours, on absolute nothing but Hasan's community's hatred towards this Jewish man, Ethan Klein. It is so demented and evil. And the fact that Hasan in his debate with H3 just says, oh, well, what's that got to do with me? It's like, dude, Hasan, it's your community doing this. It's you standing up for these people. He hasn't stood up for them very much, but like, you're collaborating with these people. These people are your friends. You're doing a content co-op with them. And iDubbbz is equally as guilty by association, which is totally valid when you're literally making content with these people. And even if you're not outright defending their actions by you pretending like their actions are just nothing or being like somehow taken out of context even though they aren't, then that is you defending them indirectly, which is making you just as guilty as they are. It's so pathetic. And like Hasan failed to even make any good arguments in his debate at all. Like, he didn't even stand up for his demented position in a very good way. He actually came across as looking like a total piece of crap. So Asmongold called him out for it, right? A lot of people reacted to that debate because it was so unhinged. And I mean, it's interesting, right? And ultimately, like, this sort of content creator drama, most of these people are morons. Like, it never could be a good debate, an intelligent, well-informed debate. That never could even be a possibility, especially when Hasan Piker's involved. This guy's been getting dog-walked in debates his whole career on the internet. Even though he's, like, actually educated in politics, he still doesn't really understand much at all about politics or having a nuanced take or changing his perspective very much. For the longest time, he was just what Vosh is now. There's this content creator Vosh, the guy who like likes horse wiener and lolly. And what Vosh does is what Hasan used to do. But Hasan at least moved past that to some extent. He still kind of has this tactic in mind that he likes to use, but he doesn't use it as often anymore, which is, you one time collaborated with this guy who once retweeted this guy who knows this guy who one time made a post on Facebook that was a little bit of a racially insensitive joke, therefore that guy's a Nazi, so he's a Nazi, so he's a Nazi, so you're a Nazi. And that's their argument. So that's why, like, Vosh and Hasan frequently get completely destroyed in these debates because they don't realize that that's not a valid point. That's quite ridiculous. And it's not like the association like that he himself has with like his orbiters, like Denims and Frogan, who entirely exist as being a part of his community and orbiting him. That's their entire online existence. It's different when it's like, oh, well, I like this person. I've watched 2 of this person's videos in the past, so I follow them on social media, and then they follow another person who follows another person who once said something a little bit offensive. Like, that's insane. That's so many more degrees of separation than literally someone you're collaborating with and defending on a regular basis. But Hasan pretends to, like, he just doesn't understand that. And furthermore, when they actually got into the Israel-Palestine stuff, Hasan just looked like a truly evil person as he denied essays and, you know, RAPES's of Israelis at the hands of Hamas. He just completely denied it. He's like, oh, well, where's your proof? So Ethan kept saying pics or it didn't happen, that, implying that Hasan saying pics or it didn't happen. Because really what Hasan was doing was, denying these victims' statements and allegations completely. So Hasan looked like this horrible SA denier and, RAPE denier, which that's what he was doing. He claims to be this, like, feminist, progressive guy, but I just don't get it. I don't understand how he didn't, like, pull the plug at that point or walk it back during that debate, because he clearly was shooken hard. He understood that he was being a scumbag denier of crimes that likely happened just because the side he politically agrees with was the ones doing it. Hasan's completely unhinged. So he just looked unbelievably bad. He came out of that debate looking so much worse and dumber than he already does. Like, this guy is just the worst and the stupidest. Well, not really the stupidest. I mean, you literally have Denims on screen. So, Denims now says that she's suing Ethan Klein for defamation. Even though he has literal, like, video and he's got all the receipts. She literally did a stream where she is perpetuating this obvious lie about Ethan Klein endangering his children and just repeating it. Like, you literally promoted your audience to harass Ethan Klein in the most horrific, horrible way that they reasonably could. And they did it. Like, sorry, Denims, but you're guilty of doing something truly horrific there, and he's not defaming you by pointing that out. In fact, he's actually doing a wonderful thing by pointing it out. So then morons like you, like, you're in a sea of morons, Denims, and you are by miles the stupidest. It's so gross to me. These freak show Twitch streamers who don't have any friends, actual, like, personal friends. They only have these work friends. That's all this is. Like Frogan, Denims, Hasan. They're not actual friends. They're just work friends. They're not real friends. They don't have real friends. They're not actually close with their family. Maybe they call their family a couple times a year. Maybe they see their family a couple times a year, but they don't actually have their family in their lives. Because a lot of these clout chasers, they either move to Austin, Texas to collaborate with other streamers to get clout. They move to LA to get clout, or they move to, like, Florida. There's like a few, or New York, a certain few hot spots. So they just kind of say, I know, peace out, family. I know I could live here and could do content here and actually, like, develop friendships and closeness with my family. But, screw you guys. I'm going to have these demented, parasocial, entirely clout-based pseudo-friendships with absolute lunatics and hyper-obsess about politics that don't even matter. Like, genuinely, what Ethan Klein thinks about Israel-Palestine does not matter. What Hasan, Asmongold, Frogan, Denims, Idubs, Tectone even, it doesn't matter, right? Like, the stance of both major political parties in the United States is pro-Israel. So I don't know why these freak shows think that them talking about this even affects anything. Is so, like, wild to me. Like, you're talking about a place that's on the other side of the world. And do you really think that you're going to change a significant portion of the American public's perspective of this, and then that's going to lead to actual, like, governmental change as to who they're supporting? No. Like, pull your head out of your ass. This isn't worth epically going on this epic, like, year-long hate campaign towards Ethan Klein that's resulting in you making, like, an anti-Jew tier list and abusing CPS. It's so, like, hello, you need to start connecting to the real world. You guys are losers. Yeah, you have some fame, some notoriety, especially now as your jackassery just goes through the roof. And yeah, you have some money, but you're losers. You don't have joy in your life. You don't have genuine friendships in your life. Your family probably doesn't like you. Like you go, no, I can't imagine a place that would be shittier to live than Los Angeles, California. You have like epic amounts of wealth disparity, homelessness, drugs. You have these people who are desperate for clout. Like they move there because they're desperate to be famous and rich, and almost all of them aren't. And it's like just this clout driven, drug infested shithole of a place. I mean, I'm sure it'd be great to visit, and there's some cool stuff, you know, there's some great people there. But outside of like certain pockets, small pockets of the like real entertainment industry, it's like the crappiest place that I'm aware of, you know, in the United States of America. In a lot of ways. But I digress. So Denims is trying to sue Ethan for defamation, which is just hilariously stupid. She's crowdfunded like over $30,000. Absolute waste. Insane waste of money. You'll never win. You're going to need more than 10 times that amount of money for a case you would never in a million years win. It's hilariously stupid, but that's what you can expect from Denims, the dumbest person on Twitch, which is a goddamn impressive feat, because there are absolute morons, such as Tron. So we'll start talking about Asmongold now. So a while ago, about 3 years ago, Asmongold's mom passed away. And this really stupid streamer named Tron blamed him for it. Because Asmongold, being a very successful streamer and YouTuber, has millions and millions of dollars, right? Of these major content creators, I mean the three, I guess the four, counting Ethan and Hila as one. He has way more money. Like he's got way more money than iDubbbz or Hasan. Now, Ethan and Hila, he doesn't, right? Like they have one of the most successful podcasts in the English-speaking world, and they have a very successful YouTube channel. They got a lot of money, but Asmongold has a lot of money too, especially for his lifestyle, right? He lives in his mom's house. He like inherited it or whatever. I'm certain it was completely paid off before her passing. And so Tron said, "Oh, it's Asmongold's fault that his mom died because his house is gross, and he's like a millionaire. Why not put her in like a home or like fix up the place?" And that is, again, so completely depraved. But you have to remember that these Twitch streamers, they don't have actual like real personal lives. They don't know real people. They just sit on their computer. All they know is these other content creators, and they know them through this lens, this as many walls, a series of walls, just this completely filtered, watered down fake persona that these streamers put out. If you actually knew people in your personal life, if you had any kind of actual real human connection with people, you would understand how completely insane that is. It actually just kind of blows my mind how stupid of a take this is. And basically Hasan just recently parroted that sentiment that Asmongold's mom died because Asmongold, well, he's a millionaire. He could have paid for the place to get fixed up. He could have paid to put her in a hospital or some kind of home. People out there, if you think that makes any sense, you are out of your goddamn mind. You are just a delusional freak show of a person who needs to like genuinely not just touch grass, but like get some kind of friendships. And even if you have to like talk to your family, talk to humans, my goodness, how do you not understand that people, when they're old and sick, they want to stay at home? Do you think that Asmongold's mom doesn't know that he has millions of dollars and that if she wanted, she could live wherever the hell she wanted? That she could get whatever kind of treatment or care that money can buy? She knew this. It would be impossible for her not to know this. She was exactly where she wanted to be. And to act like she's some kind of like complete jackass who has no free will, who didn't understand that, hey, the house you're living in, it possibly has mold and other issues that aren't great for your health. Like, holy crap, she knew this. She knew this. My people, you're out of your mind. I wouldn't be surprised if Asmongold himself said, hey, you know, if you feel like living in a home or something, or you can have, you know, nurses come by and maybe fix up the place. Most likely he offered that to his mom, in which she declined. And even if that didn't happen, she still would have guaranteed understood that was a possibility. Like Asmongold's he's had millions of dollars for like probably close to 10 years. Like, my goodness. It's so weird when people just like imagine shit in their head where it's just completely taking away free will and agency from adults. Like, my goodness, was Asmongold supposed to like tie his mom up and drag her to a nursing home? Like, she would have hated that. That's not how she wanted to pass. Like, it's just so demented that people don't understand that. Because it's like, have you never had someone in your personal life pass away? Have you never, like, visited a sick, dying relative? It weirds me out and grosses me out that these people just haven't experienced life at all. Or, like, does Hasan and Casey Tron and all these other Muppets just hate old people? They just disassociate with all old people everywhere? Like, how in the world? Like, I can't even imagine it. I remember being a child and visiting like dying relatives. How do these people not like see the world around? Like, Denims, alright, she actually has a non-functioning brain. Like, she doesn't have memories. She's you know, she's a complete write-off. There is something majorly mentally severely wrong with her. But like, Hasan, like, you really don't get this? My goodness, just shocking stupidity. Like, to blame Asmongold for his mom dying, like there was no, like, Asmongold did nothing. You should also understand, people, that when someone is dying and old, that it's not like his mom was taking care of him. He was taking care of his mom. He's literally talked about how that like affected his YouTube and Twitch career. How he had to stream less because his mom was dying. Like, he talked about her not wanting to go to the doctor. Do you understand? It's like literally elder abuse to, like, if you were to like what's he gonna do? Hire a bodyguard or something to just round her up and throw her in a car and take her to the hospital? Like, that's not. He would be charged with a crime if he did that. That's crazy. That's you can't do that to other humans. It's just shocking levels of stupidity. Hasan, it's desperation though, because he's just been taking L's like crazy, and so he's just desperate to try to make people who have ever spoken out against him look bad. Which brings us to Tectone. Now, Tectone, Hasan's community hates Tectone because Tectone's a right-wing guy and Hasan's very far left. Now, Tectone's dad was in the military, and Tectone is proud of that, and he was very upset with Frogan, the obese woman you see in the middle here, when she said that she hopes that American soldiers get PTSD and suffer, and him having a veteran father who fought in Vietnam, that's a horrific thing to wish upon people, especially people who haven't necessarily done anything wrong. I don't know if Frogan lives in the United States, but she absolutely shouldn't. Go somewhere else. You can't be calling out just random innocent soldiers, army members, military people as a whole for no reason, and continue to live in that country. That's just a horrific thing to do. You're demented. Like, go live somewhere else if you love it so much. You know, you went out of your way, Frogan and Denims, to make an anti-Semitic tier list. If you hate Jews as much as you seem like you do, you can move to a country where there's not Jewish people. Why don't you just do that, you hate-filled losers? But Tectone, Hasan's community dug up that Tectone's dad had some, like, SA charges in the past, which it seems like Tectone totally didn't know about, because he basically, as this was unraveling, he referred to it as, like, just an allegation, which he wouldn't have done if he knew that his dad was found guilty of these crimes. It wouldn't make any logical sense, especially Tectone, a guy who's very willing to call it as it is, right? You could argue that him separating himself from OTK was inevitable because this guy speaks his mind so freely. So there's no way Tectone really knew what the hell had gone on. And it's not like his dad, like, went away for years. His dad basically went away for, I think, like 6 months or something. And, like, his dad was, like, this military guy, served in the military for 40 years, so that's probably pretty normal. And Tectone has talked about that, how his dad, was not in his life, in his childhood, his development, for pretty sizable chunks of time from being a military guy. So, because of this, why Hasan's community dug this up was because the woman beside Tectone here, it's like Pink Chew or something. I follow her on Instagram, but I don't know if she, like, streams or makes YouTube videos. The picture you see here is basically, it seems like the entirety of her content is, she's got big fakies and she's showing them off. Like, follow her on Instagram and that's what you'll see. It's entirely that. I don't know if she does any other content besides that. Like, I would assume that she does, content that's even more revealing than this. I'm just assuming. I don't know or care. But she made allegations towards Tectone with no evidence. Like, no, she didn't charge him with a crime, but she made an allegation and then just kind of dropped it. But once you make an allegation towards, like, an online content creator, it's gonna cause some damage, right, to his reputation and potentially destroy his entire career. Now, it hasn't, and it's pretty weird that someone who, like, clearly she was with, and they dated, and she basically accused him of, like, coercion and I think SA. Basically, they were living together and she didn't feel like paying rent, so she was hooking up with him. I don't know. It's kind of unclear as to when they were dating and when they were just doing that. Like, it seems like they were friend with benefits at times, actually dating at times, and just fooling around at different times. Seems like some sort of tumultuous relationship that they had. But the fact that it seemed like she was probably involved with Tectone heavily to clout chase. And you're clout chasing a guy who, like, sits on his computer all day. I can assume that she is at least proficient with computers. it's just weird with how much technology there is nowadays that she would have like zero receipts, zero evidence. It just really kind of seems that because of that her allegations are probably false. There's no way for us to know, but that's heavily the way that it seems. Who knows? Who knows? It's neither here nor there, kind of. But because of that, that's why Hasan's community dug this stuff up about Tectone's dad, and then Hasan basically said, "Oh, like father, like son. Oh, it runs deep in that family," which is insane. That is just completely insane and uncalled for and disgusting. Like, Hasan, you are a disgusting moron of a person. Just because you got obliterated in a debate with Ethan Klein means you have to try to go after Asmongold in the dumbest way possible, in a completely ridiculous way. You have to go after Tectone in a completely ridiculous way. Like, Hasan, has anyone in your family ever committed a crime? They probably have. That doesn't mean that you yourself committed that crime. It's completely insane. And like the allegations towards Hasan and the criticism that he's facing for a huge variety of things, like supporting people who abuse CPS, anti-Semitism of himself and the people he collaborates with and his entire community. Oh my god. To like his support of multiple terrorist groups, his being an absolute hypocrite of him pretending to be a socialist, meanwhile he's like an absolute yuppie nepo baby, comes from wealth, comes from generational money, lives in a multi-million-dollar house, drives a supercar, like just the yuppiest of yuppies, saying like, you know, acting like he's fighting for the cause with these random terrorist groups. It's like, dude, you could not hang with these people even if you tried for a second. Like, they are way more hardcore than you. They've actually gone through difficulty in their life. They didn't go through life with a silver spoon, man. Like, these people have major struggles. And a lot of these terrorist groups are horrific, murderous, committing all sorts of crimes towards women, and you just deny those crimes. Like, Hasan, you're a massive piece of crap, and you're grasping at straws going after Tectone and Asmongold. And it comes across as so pathetic, and you need to majorly reevaluate your career if you're getting dog walked by Ethan Klein, who famously years ago told his audience not to think because the government will think for you. They've got people who will do the thinking for you. So why even think, audience? You don't even need to think. So, man, just to watch Ethan Klein just clobber Hasan was so like funny and weird and pathetic. It was pretty fascinating. And again, this is all just like online drama. I don't care about any of these people. Most of them I consider to be complete morons. Literally, the only person on this screen that I consider to actually be a balanced and intelligent person is Asmongold. Like, screw everyone else. Like, like Tectone's kind of mid, Hila's kind of mid in terms of intelligence. Then, like, everyone else, I think, is some of the dumbest people. Some of the dumbest online content creators out there. It's a freak show. It's like a TLC show, right? Like, TLC's, all their shows are about, it's just a freak show. 90 Day Fiance, just nearly My 600-Pound Life. This is just a different format of that kind of freak show. You have some of these, like, parasocial lunatics where they care, instead of actually having like personal friendships and being close with their family, they care about what people are saying on Twitter. They care about what their Twitch chat is saying towards them. It's like, your Twitch chat is like weirdos who have way too much time to actually watch stuff in live streams. Like, you you gotta really go out of your way and really obsess over somebody to actually be like regularly catching their live streams to where you even care to chat anything beyond jokes. Like, I'll watch a Twitch stream. Like, recently I watched Ludwig and Tyler and Emmy playing League of Legends as a team. And maybe once or twice I typed a joke. like these people who actually feel this like strong parasocial connection to these content creators are absolute lunatics. And the content creators themselves, because they don't actually, like, that's their socializing, is these weirdos in chat and these other weirdos who have an equally parasocial, demented socialization in their personal life. That's their entire social circle exists in that. You just have the absolute batch of weirdos and psychos. It's a shit show. And somehow Hasan Piker just sinks lower and lower, and Denims sinks lower. It's kind of funny though. Like, honestly, like, her trying to sue Ethan for defamation, it's so stupid. It's such a waste of money. Not because she's gonna have to waste her own personal money, but then she's also going to have to waste her audience's money. But the fact that they would even donate to this shows how psychotic they are. Like, they deserve for their money to be flushed down the toilet. And it's funny that could even happen. But I think Ethan's right. She's not even going to actually even try to sue him. She's just going to pocket that money. Because why would you even try? Like, any reasonable lawyer would take one look at this and laugh and be like, no, like, I can't advise that you do this. This is stupid beyond words. You will lose. You're only going to lose money by doing this. Like, maybe it's different at a certain level. Like, I get, if you're having to spend like 400 grand, maybe there are really complete scumbag lawyers who wouldn't even bother to tell you that you're certainly going to lose and shouldn't do it. They must exist, especially in like a shithole like LA. But yeah, peace out. We'll see what happens next.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Spread their racks on new chain.